What up? What up? What up? What's going down? Well, hopefully you guys can hear me, and hopefully it's not all jacked up because it looked like we were having some difficulty on our end. Hopefully we can get through this. So if it's jacked up, let me know. But let's see who's up in here. Yeah, we're having trouble already. I know, huh? I'm reading your guys' comments. We knew we were having problems right when we sat down before we even went live. There's no reason it should be jacking up. If it gets really bad tonight, I might have to clip it because I don't know why it's jacking up. But we can try to get going again. What's up, Thomas? Kimberly just jumped in here. Everything's the same as it always is every week, and it makes no sense. And we're plugged directly in to the modem. Shouldn't have no issues. Liam, Justin, what up, what up, what up? All right, Love Moto Mondays, first time on live. Yeah, well, welcome. It's fine, send it. All right, cool. Cool. Well, hey, this is Moto Mondays. We do this every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you're here for the first time, thanks for hanging out. Let me see. And we talk moto. So if you're into moto and you want to talk about riding, you want to talk about bike setup, you want to talk about freestyle, laps, anything, body position, some techniques, come hang out with us any Monday night. Like I said, we do this every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. So be sure to subscribe. If you ain't subscribed to the channel and that's something that you guys are into, be sure to show some love and get a subscription so you don't miss it. And if you want to follow me on all my other channels, check me out at Ronnie Faisst. Except for on Facebook, it's at Ronnie Faisst FMX. Also, we got that January 30th class coming up here real quick. And just to give you guys a little update on this, I was checking the weather. It does, just if anybody's planning on coming to that class, there is rain coming on Friday, but it looks like it's a half an inch. So as long as Lake Elsinore is open, I plan on being there. And if I don't fly home till Monday. So if for any crazy reason, if Elsinore decided to shut down, we would look for another track open, maybe Fox Raceway. But if all of the tracks in Southern California shut down on Saturday, we will be doing it on Sunday. My hopes is to get it done Saturday. But for some reason, let's just say, worst case scenario, I'm not leaving on Monday, so we'll do it on Saturday. But I hope we can just stay on schedule and get it done, because that's the plan. And then the next class, not on the website yet. Pop the website up here, RonnieFaisstMX.com. The next class is going to be February 27th out in California at Lake Elsinore as well. So that'll be up on the site as well. So if you want any information on the January 30th class, it's coming up this Saturday. Go to RonnieFaisstMX.com. If you guys want any moto merch or just, like I said, any information on the schools, be sure to go and check that out. But hey, let's talk. I didn't have a chance to throw these up on the thing, but let's talk about these crazy races we just had these last 2 weeks. So we got two races in since the last time I talked to you guys. Let's see here. Let's look at the 250 main event. We're just going to go last week. Obviously, there's been a lot of crazy things. I think the biggest thing from 2 weeks ago was Sexton. Sexton going down. I mean, the dude is smooth as ice. And I honestly thought that was the race to really boost the confidence up. And he ended up, I mean, we've seen it a million times on social media. Mel's texting me, turn off the Wi-Fi on your phone. All right, let me do this real quick. Just to keep a better connection. Hey, anything helps. I don't want to cut out on you guys. So I'm going to turn this off real quick. All right, let me get back to it. But Sexton going down, man, what a bummer for him, because now he had to sit out last week, and that's going to jack his points up. And I think that would have been a big boost for his confidence of being up front. But we know he has it. He's one of the smoothest guys out there. So obviously that was a big thing from 2 weeks ago. And then Faulkner crashing out this weekend and not being able to compete either. And Hampshire was out as well in the 250 class. But let's just look at 250 main event from this past weekend. Nichols looking solid. Him and Craig 1-2. Lawrence in third. And then Shimoda holding it down again in fourth. Mossman rounding out the top five. Now, in the standings, Nichols, I think him and Craig are tied. Yeah, they are. So Nichols and Craig are tied now, 70 points each. And Lawrence is only 6 points down. So, and Shimoda's, dude, he's consistent every weekend. He's only 16 points back. So I think, I think Nichols, Craig, and Lawrence are going to be the three guys to watch. Obviously, Lawrence getting those heat races wins in. All the, you know what I mean? It's just these dudes early in the season, these guys working out the kinks. And building confidence. Every time you get these guys getting a win under the belt, whether it's a heat race or a main event, confidence are coming up. So I think we're going to watch those three guys in the 250 class this year. Craig's out to win it. Like, you can heard it in his interview. He was not pumped on second place. He was bummed. And I think, think about it. Him and Nichols are on the same team, so that means they practice together all week. So in Craig's mind, he might think, dude, I'm better. I'm faster than him, or I'm better than him, or whatever, how it might go during the week. Because you know your competition. Like, I feel like all the freestyle guys knew going into X Games where you kind of stood. You knew if you were doing all the current tricks and what tricks you were bringing and what the other guys were bringing. So I feel like these guys who practice together kind of know where they stand. And I think Craig, in his mind, believes he should be beating Nichols, because I could tell in the interview he was not pumped to get second place. So, but that's good. He's there to win it, and he's looking for that 450 ride. Basically, it's coming down. He has to move up next year, so he needs a ride. Otherwise, he's going to have to probably retire, and I don't think he's ready to yet. So it's going to be cool to watch him put it all on the line this year. But let's just take a glance at 450 main event. Dude, let me get a sip of water for this one, because we all know what happened. Many of us are, and I think a lot of us have been pulling for him for the last couple of years, especially me. I know I've been, because like I've said, I've mentioned it before, I like the comebacks, and his story about what he's been through has been hard, and I want to see him come back and win a championship. And man, dude, he had that whole race wrapped up, and it came down to Wilson getting in the way at the end there, and Webb was able to get around him and steal the win from him. And he was fired up. But how can you can't blame him. But at the same time, man, I was yelling. We were all yelling on our TV, yelling at Wilson, get out the way, dude. Like, what are you doing? Because they gave him the blue flag, like, get out the way flag. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he didn't see it or what. Or maybe, like, Wilson doesn't usually get lapped. And maybe he just didn't think Roxton was Roxton. Maybe he thought someone caught him on the last lap and he was just trying to block, because if you saw him, he was holding the inside, wasn't moving over for nobody. So maybe he just was thinking, someone caught me, I'm not getting past on the last lap and losing another position. And he didn't glance back and realize it was the leaders coming up on him. And it turned out to be bad for Roxton. You all saw it. He almost crashed trying to slow down for him over that little roller. And then Wilson, that sucked. If you him putting out the apologies, because at the end of the day, dude, you feel bad. You're like, dude, I was the guy you don't want to be. So I thought Roxton handled it really professional, kept his cool. I thought Wilson, I don't think he did it on purpose by any means. So he kind of, here, let me look at that. I believe he's first place right now. 450 main event. So it was Webb, Roxton, Cincerello, Barcia, and Tomac top 5. Stewart in the 6th. But I believe Roxton's still holding on to the first red plate. Let's get these up here. Yeah, Roxton. He's in first place by 1 point, 60 points. Barcia and Webb are 59, 1 point down each. Mel keeps texting me, saying she can't hear me. So we're just going to keep rolling. I know it ain't perfect tonight, but let's just go for it. If it sucks and you got to sign off, I get it. But we'll keep rolling. So here's the deal. Roxton lost 4 points from the week before because he jumped on the medical flag, so they docked him 4 points. And then obviously he lost some points this week to Cooper when he lost it on the last lap. But still within first place, still in a run for a championship. But every point in that class is super important, because that class is stacked. And as of right now, you got 1, 2, dude, if you look at this, if you're looking at this, it goes, Barcia and Webb are down by 1 point. Tomac's down by 6. Ferrandez, Cincerello, and Brayton and Stewart are only down by 9 points. And then Muscan's down by 11, and he's in 9th. So there's 9 guys, only 9 dudes, only 11 point spread from all the way back to 9. So that's going to be a cool class to watch, putting in good runs and not making mistakes. So I'm assuming Sexton's going to be back. I don't think he's out for the year, so we're going to see him back. Obviously, he's out of the championship, or it's going to be really hard for him to make up the DNF. We are off to where we at? Indianapolis. So it's basically just me hanging out with you guys, trying to give some good moto advice and answer some questions. So whatever you guys got, you can start throwing in your questions. And like I said, the way we like to do it is put the question marks up so I can find your question from outside. And he's jacked up on me, huh? It's jacked up. Up here, let's see what it is. He says, it says FMX rap plan to jump longer than Link. God bless. Saint Carrie married to Pink Metzger. Wait, was that a rap, dude? He got the MX rap going on. No, it's pretty good, dude. He's writing the Moto rap. All right. Here's Anthony again. Here, let's see what he says. Whatever happened to Dan Passer, Luke Urek, Dan Kennard? They were really good in the early 2000s, but kind of disappeared. Did they stop contests when the flip came out? So Dan Passer, I know Passer got hurt a couple times. I think injuries kind of took him out, but I don't think Dan Passer did flip, to be honest with you. Luke Urek never did flip. I know that for a fact because me and Luke were really good friends. He used to stay at my house all the time. And so he didn't flip. Same thing, him and Dane Kennard were 2 dudes who were really good who didn't flip. So basically, that happened to a lot of guys. If you didn't flip when the flip came out, you basically got pushed back to where you couldn't go compete at X Games because you just couldn't get in, you know? You had to have a flip to compete at X Games. But it pushed a lot of guys to just be demo guys. So that's kind of, and a lot of guys got discouraged, you know, the flip came out and they didn't have it and it kind of bummed them out. Some of them just kind of gave up, you know. Other guys said, hey, I'm not going to flip. I'm just going to go ride. Caught it, quit. So a lot of those dudes they just disappeared. So I remember Dan Passer, what happened. Yeah, so we're just kind of touching on that as well. I think Passer got hurt a couple of times. A couple injuries. Short lived. All right, so we got Eric Davis up in here. All right, so we got Howard up in here. Just stops by to say what up. What up, Ronnie? Gotta go work. Well, what up, Howard? Up here. All right, so Cordell says, when does your Midwest training start? I'm 10 minutes from Challenge Track in Kingsville. Interested in training as a mid-pack C rider. Sweet. Well, March will we'll kick it off here in March. So spring, March and April will be the kickoff here in the Midwest, and I'll go once a month all the way to November. So I'll keep you guys posted as the classes come out. So basically, just figure like now we're January. January classes is this weekend. I'll be putting the February class up. That's how it'll work. So you know, like February, as we get close to the February class, I'll drop the March class, and then so on all the way through the end of the year. So yeah, Kingsville super close. Like I said, we're probably shooting to be at. I would love to do one at Kingsville, to be honest with you. I'm gonna try to do that this year. See if we can make that happen. I wanted to do it last year, but anyway, we were able to do a couple at Grain Valley. So Grain Valley, I'm assuming was going to be back on the radar this year. And then I'm shooting. There's a private track down in Hillsdale, Kansas, not too far from where you're at. And it's pretty sweet. So I'm looking to do some stuff there. And then we might also go back to Baysore, but I'm thinking if the private track in Hillsdale works out, I might use that as like my Kansas track, and then Grain Valley, and then maybe Kingsville if they're open to it as the Missouri. The March class should be kicking off. And now if you want to wait till it warms up a little bit, spring or April, May, like I said, they'll all be available just about a month prior. Well, here we go. Let's get Brian up here. He said, oh, not a question, but a comment by nephew Jacob. Moved up 125 to a 2018 Honda CR. Or wait, CR 250R. So, two-stroke, C250. Sweet. So he's up, bumping up from the 125 to the 250. When you went from an 80 to a 125, you're like, dang, dude, this is so much better. And then you go 125, 250, and you're like, yeah. And then you got to go 250, 450. Then you're like, yeah. So, Big Nate, best shoe-like moto boot feel. All right, so this is a cool question. Here's the deal. If you want a shoe, like where it's not super stiff, I would go with a Fox boot. That's a boot I wear, Instinct. And it is, I rode in Tech 10s most of my career for freestyle, and now I'm wearing a Fox boot. And I would say the Fox boot is definitely on the softer side compared to a Tech 10. So it would feel more like a sneaker or like a shoe. Can feel the bike more. It's just, it's you can ride in it the first day, and it doesn't necessarily feel like you got to break it in. It's like it feels good right off the bat. And not to say the Alpine Star isn't an awesome boot. It is a great boot. I wore it for years. But it's more on the stiffer side. If you like a stiffer boot, I would say that'd be a boot for you. Is go with a Tech 10. But it's good. You're gonna have to break that one in. You'll go out there to ride, and you hard to feel the brake pedal, kind of a little bit hard to shift at first, so you got to kind of throw those on. Sometimes it's good to just wear them around the house, in the yard, doing yard work, break them in, or just get on your bike, put your boots on, and just work. Just get on there and rock the ankles back and forth, and just break them in a little bit. But best way to break in a pair of boots, just go out and ride in them. But I would go with that if you're looking for a little softer one. Instinct. Danny B, my man. All right, brother. Well, I hope I see you out there Saturday. So, hey, a little bit of rain on the schedule on Friday. We're planning on doing it as long as Elsinore don't close the gates on us. And if they do, we're going to shoot for Sunday. Just worst case scenario, if they somehow say, hey, the track's too wet, hopefully, I don't leave till Monday, and I want to get that class in. So I'm always trying to stay on. I don't like changing schedule. I don't like pushing things to the next day. So we're going Saturday, as long as those gates are open at Elsinore. But worst case scenario, if you're there Saturday, or even if you just show up, dude, I'm there. I ain't going home to Monday. So as long as a couple people come, because he always loses. Sometimes that's why I don't like bumping the class, because sometimes people can't make it. They're scheduled for Saturday, and then you got to push it to Sunday. People are like, I can't come on Sunday, and then you lose a couple. So I don't want to move it. I want to keep it where it's at. But just know, plan on doing a class. But I looked. There's a chance of rain, but it's like half. Planning on being there. So let's get Big Nate up here. Do you follow specs for engine rebuilds every 10 to 12 hours? Seems a bit. Yeah. I mean, are you talking about on 2 strokes or 4 strokes? Man, that's a good question. I'm not crazy with it, but man, that's a good question, dude. That's a question. I'm putting that down because that's a good that's a good helpful tip to give people. Where it's a good. I'm gonna ask Tony hours. I'm gonna write that down. I like to know that for myself, just to be able to give that feedback to you guys. What is a good? How many hours should we rebuild our bikes? That's a good question because I don't know off the top of my head. But 10 to 12 hours, yeah. On a 4-stroke, I know I don't rebuild my bike to 10 hours. I got way more hours than that, and my bike's still cracking. So that sounds a way too fast, even on a 2-stroke. The way I always did it, like when I competed, I always just rebuilt my bike. Like, and I wasn't racing, so it's different if you're a racer, because freestyle's different. So obviously, when I was competing as a freestyle guy, I just rebuilt my 2-strokes. I rebuilt them all the time before I had a big event. So if I had a big event coming up, we put a fresh top end in it, got it ready. So that's how I did it. Anytime I was going to go compete, we made sure the bike was top notch. And I had a practice bike and a competitive bike as well. So wasn't like I was putting a ton of hours on one bike. But with my 4-strokes, to be honest with you, man, I don't even think I've ever had to rebuild one of my 4-strokes because they're always still good. So, but I'm gonna find out a good stuff. I know last week we were kind of talking about some of the links on this description of this. There is links there, and I know I think there's the link to my chain, the chain that I use, the knee braces that I use, the helmet that I use, just for common questions that people were like, yo, what do you like, what do you use? So if any of you guys want to just check that out at the end of the video, just go in the descriptions and you can just click a link. It'll take you right to the product that we use. So trying to make it helpful, make things easy. Boy up here, he says, hey Feist, is there any... Wait, man, my eyes are getting bad. I gotta read it on the big, there's like a small part and a big spot. I keep looking over here because I can't even read it on the small part anymore. Getting old, man, need some glasses. He says, hey Feist, is there anything that you miss about the 90s moto scene? If so, what? Man, the 90s moto scene. I think what was so cool about that was it was the early years of freestyle, and I think they were the funnest years. I mean, we got to pioneer a whole new sport, and I think it was fun because everything was brand new. So it was like every time it was kind of like, man, can I do that? And then you'd have to try to learn it. So I think that was the coolest part about early 90s and stuff, was just the birth of free riding movement and the birth of freestyle motocross coming up. And I know I'm glad I hit it when I hit it, because it was fun. Good time to be out in California, to be out on all those film trips with all those guys, and just to even, you know, me and Deegan were roommates during that time, and just live with Deegan and have our own little militia compound, and just the way that we all were able to go out there every day and try new tricks and push each other, like, it was fun. And I think all of us got where we were because we had that nice little group of guys constantly motivating each other, and who really wanted to ride all the time. Like, we really wanted to spend time on our bike and took it serious, you know, took that racer mentality that we had from racing, of training and being focused and working every day, and brought that over to freestyle and applied it to tricks. And so good times, man. All right, let's get Thomas up here. He says, all right, dude, how does the Peacock subscription work? All right, so let me just answer the first part of that question. So Peacock's the new way. It's basically the new NBC Gold card. If you had the NBC Gold card last year to watch the Supercross, they basically are directing everyone over to Peacock. And it's super simple. They sent me an email and just basically were like, hey, get signed up. It's $4.99 a month, and it gives you all the Supercross series. It didn't say anything about the outdoors yet, but I know you can get the Supercross series from now to May, and you can cancel anytime. So if they don't give us the outdoor series, just cancel it after the Supercross series. Because, I mean, you get a bunch of other stuff with it. It comes with movies, cartoons, all this stuff, but I don't really watch that stuff. So I'm going to kind of play it by ear. I'm going to keep it until the Supercross season's over. If they're going to show the outdoor seasons, I'm going to keep on going. But if not, I'll cancel it and sign back up next year. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just get signed up. And you probably can just go to peacock.com and find the Supercross subscription, and it comes with other stuff. So I don't think it's just Supercross. Let me look at the second part of the question. It says, we have been watching Supercross at my buddy's house, but it's been subscription going to cover the yeah. See, I don't know about that, so I'm not 100% sure on the outdoor series. But either way, if they're not covering it, I'm sure you would think they would. To be honest with you, you would think they would. But if they don't, someone else will be. And we'll let you guys know where that is, because I'll miss the outdoors. All right, so let's get Chris up here. He says, feel bad for Dino and believe his sincere apologies. What are your thoughts? I think it was sincere. I don't think anybody wants to be that dude. And I know Dino. Like, we're good friends. We hung out a lot when I lived in California, and he's a straight up cool, he's a funny dude. Like, and he's cool. Like, I don't see him doing that on purpose by any means. I think it was the last lap of the race. Dino's not used to being lapped. He's top 10, 15 dude. Normally don't lap up into those guys like that. So I don't think he thought it was Roxon. I think he thought someone called him, and he just didn't want to lose another spot. So he just put the hammer down and focused on the race and didn't look back. And unfortunately, it was the leaders. And, sucked. Everybody bashed him on social media, but I think he really did feel bad. I know I would have felt bad. I think anybody would have felt bad especially when you know Roczen's story, and I think a lot of people are rooting for him to get a win, if not a championship. Really well. I mean, obviously he was fired up directly after the race, but still, he handled it like a pro, and I think that's a champion in him. You know, I think it's like these things happen. That's the end of the day. Like so much happens out there, like, and it is racing. You can't control what happens. You know. And to be able to go, it is what it is. I lost some points and put it behind you and go on to the next race. That's how a champion handles it. You can't just, you know, as much as you want to just blame it all on him, it's racing though. Stuff happens, you know. So, all good. Dino might have thought the blue flag was for the lapper he was about to pass. He could have. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe he didn't even see it because Roczen the week before said he didn't see the medical flag. So it's possible you get so focused out there sometimes you're not necessarily paying attention to all the flags. He could have missed it or potentially thought it was, yeah, like if there was someone right in front of him, he could have just thought it was for him. So that's what I'm saying. You think he for sure, felt he was bummed about it for sure. Yeah. I mean, if he did know it was him, he definitely should have got out the way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he had plenty of room to move over. It was not like he didn't have room. Like, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. He had, like, I don't think him and Roczen he has out for Roczen like that. Like, I really think it was he just didn't catch, yeah. So, yeah, hopefully Roczen can get one under his belt here. So let's get my homie Curtis up here. He says, hey, brother, hope all well. Prayer request from my buddy Tyler Hansen. Broken T4 and 5 at bar to bar over the weekend. Man, bummer. Yeah, I've seen a lot of dudes are out there this past weekend. So, yeah, man. Definitely keep Tyler in your prayers. All of us, man. Keep Tyler in your prayers, man. Broken T5, T4. Man, not fun. Yeah, it looked like a lot of guys from this area went out to bar. So that's haven't been down there yet, but definitely need to check that out. Feist, this is Patrick here. He says, what do you think about throwing a KTM front fender on a Husky? Orange on the Husky? I wouldn't do it. But I don't like orange, so it's all okay. If you like orange, dude, it's all good, I guess. I like white. I like red, to be honest with you, but I'm not going to make my Husky red. But I like red. I think red looks sick on bikes. But it's all, hey, whatever you like. Hey, let's get Trent up here. Let's see, Big Trent Dog. Representing, blasting your live chat on Facebook. He says, give a little shout out to Local Boy 85, Kevin Morans, for placing 9th in the main. So, yeah. And he won the LCQ. He missed it in the heat race. And then he made it. He won his LCQ. So, yeah, shout out to the local boy, Kevin Morans. Getting an LCQ win. And, dude, 9th in the main. Whoo, that's top 10. That's good. And I know the week before, man, hot. All right, so he says, commercial fisherman, so I missed the last couple weeks. All good, brother. So what do you think about this new feet on the pegs all the time? Do you think it's faster or just different riding style? So what do you mean feet on the pegs? By like saying like in the corners, stand up through the corners. Here's the deal. It works in some corners, and other corners you got to sit down. It's definitely a good technique, and it definitely does work. And I think it can be faster for certain turns. I don't think it's a technique you're going to use in every turn, but I think it's a technique that you want to develop in your riding ability. That when it's time and a place to use it, the corner that works for it, that you're able to do that. So I think it's good. I think you should have the ability to stand on the pegs and rail corners. And I think it's great practice to even set up a little corner track, like a left, a right, left, and maybe a little loop back around, and just practice standing up, balls of the feet, and riding corners, little ruts, without sitting down. I think it's great practice. And I think in some turns it definitely can be faster, but it is definitely not a technique that you're going to use in every single turn. You're for sure going to put your butt on that replacement like, oh, I'm going to stand up through every turn. I don't think it's replacing sitting down. I just think it's every turn's different. There's going to be a turn where sitting down is the proper technique, and there's going to be turns where being on the foot pegs is going to be the better option. So definitely work on it and develop it so you have it in your arsenal. This is the deal. You want to be able to develop every type of technique. You want to be good in the whoops, you want to be good in the ruts, you want to be good in the sand, the mud, the hard pack, standing up in ruts, sitting down in ruts, seat bouncing. You want to develop every single type of technique that you got, because you don't want to give up. Then, like, if you're competing, obviously the guy who's got all the right techniques and can do them the best is, he's the dude you got to compete about. So you don't want to give up anything. So you got to work on everything. You want to have skills to be able to ride anything. If you're a dude that only can ride when the track's good, then what are you going to do at the end of the day when the track's rough and dry and beat up? Then your results, you can't win championships like that. If you're only good early in the day, say on an outdoor track when it's not super beat up, at the end of the day the track's just super gnarly, and then you can't handle it because you don't like the dry, whether it's super dried out or what. And same thing, what about on a mud day? If you can't ride the mud, then there goes your championship. You could be winning all year, and then all of a sudden you get 2-3 mud races and you can't handle the mud, then now your championship's messed up because you don't know how to ride the mud. So you have to be able to adjust, and it's just practice. Like, if you're serious about racing, when it rains and it's muddy, then you should go out and rip some motos, rip some laps in the mud, because you're gonna have to do it on race day. I know I was never a fan when it got muddy. I used to be like, dang, it's muddy. But some dudes loved it. They were like, hey, it's muddy. This is my time to shine. So if you live in an area where it's raining and and you want to compete and be good in everything, you're gonna have to get out there and get sloppy during the week. So when it rains on race day, it's no big deal. It'd be like trying to show up to X Games and be like, I'm gonna flip today, but you never flipped. You haven't flipped ever. Like, let me just go do a flip. Scary. Not a good option. B Dubsky is in the house with the super chat love. He says, "What up, Feist family? How about KC? Hey, gotta give a shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs, back-to-back AFC championships and going back to the Super Bowl. So hey." It's going to be Patrick Mahomes versus Brady, and I hope KC wins. I like Patrick Mahomes much better than Tom Brady, even though I know he's an OG. Much respect for the OG, but hey, I like the young buck. And he just happens to play for my team. Yeah, so go Chiefs. We're rooting for the Chiefs, man. I got my Reds on right here. Boom, Red Friday, even though it's Monday. That's the new Mark tattoo. This is just, check it out. The mesh foam front snapback with the embroidered M on it from Mark Collected. It will be available on markcollected.com very soon. Got a whole new line coming out. Alright. I'm just looking for another question. And I was reading some of these comics. Some people are saying I think the internet connection's mine, not yours. Some people are saying, oh, my internet sucks tonight. I think it's my internet sucks tonight. Big Feist here. Big Feist has said the Flyers want me to lace up my skates. Me and Mel hit the ice with my mom. My mom was out here this past weekend, and we hit the ice. I was working on my speed. Yeah, I need to get back out, back out there. It was good times. I'm laughing at some of you guys' comments. Funny, you guys get in here. All right, so here's Liam. He says, were you still involved with the Metal Militia when they were poaching spots that they shouldn't have been rode, or no? Yes, I do remember. So that was basically, they did an ad series where you could go poach a spot and they give you an ad. So I was on the team at that time, and I don't believe I poached anything, but I was on the team. I remember Deegan did like a golf course. I think Deegan did a golf course. Fitz did that that bridge off the 15 down by the 79. I think Lane Kogel did something down in Orange County. But yeah, I was on the team. I was on the team pretty much the whole time the team existed, basically. All right. I don't know if I got... He says, so Anthony says, did you ever hone the... I don't know how to say that word. Cylinder of a two-stroke. But I'm basically, do you ever basically get a motor work to a two-stroke? Hone it, port it, polish it? Yes. We had I raced 125, 85 stock and mod at Loretta Lynn. So I had a stock, or I modified at 85. And that's, I believe it. I think when I went to 125, Big Feisst, did we ever, I don't think we ever did any motor work to our 125s, did we? Or did we? I don't remember. I know I had a mod 85, but I think I rode stock 125s. And I know I never did anything to my 250s. They were always fast enough. So Big Feisst might remember, but I'm thinking no. No on the 125. But yeah, but hey, on the 80, it made a huge difference. Bike was way faster, bike was way smoother. So definitely it works for sure. And all my bikes are stock now. No motor work on the 4/5. Oh. Just scrolling. If I missed your question, chuck it back up. Just so I don't miss you guys. Man, you guys are chopping it up in here. so many comments. All right. He says you should. All right, so this is Big Bang. He said you should go live on Tuesday Supercross so we can all live. Hey, that's a good idea, huh? Yeah, huh? Maybe we should try that. I'm out of here on Thursday. Hey, maybe. So wait, let's see. Let's see. I'm out of here on Thursday. I'm in California Thursday through. I fly home on Monday. Is there a race next Tuesday? I'll have to look at the schedule. So maybe that's because I got to see what time I get home on Monday. I might not be able to do it next Monday if I'm flying back. So maybe that's an option. Maybe we push one of our Moto Mondays to a Tuesday and do it. That'd be cool. Kind of, and we all can sit here and talk about what's going down in the race. That might be a good idea. So, hey, Big Bang. Great idea, brother. That'd be cool. So I'll have to check the schedule because I do know I fly home next week on a Monday. Car did your 80s. Yeah, so I know I did work. Big Feisst is saying Car did your 80s. So yeah, so the 125s were stock, but a definitely noticeable difference on my mini bike when we had the motor work done. Way better. Thing ripped. My Mod 80 ripped. It was fast. All right, here we go. Let's get Trent back up here. He says, what do you think about putting red lights on the outside of the course like they do in Monster Jam to help with red flags? Hey. So basically he's saying, like, say there's a red flag, they would have lights on the outside of the course that basically would flash. So no matter where you're at on the track, necessarily you don't have to see the red flag. You would just know, hey, this race is ended. I'm going to slow it down and back it off. Not a bad idea. But they would just safety, anything helps with that. All right, so let's get Brian back up here. He said, I had my valves checked at Donnell's last week, and they had a 2021 Husky Rockstar 450 on the showroom. That's mine, dude. I know, I'm waiting for the next email. But they hit me up, and that their last email to me, they were like, we know you want to work with Donnell's. Do they have a 2021 Rockstar Edition Husky at the shop? And I text Bart, and I'm like, hey, do you got one of those down there? And he said, I do. And I said, all right, sweet. Well, I think somebody is going to be in touch with you soon. And then I haven't heard nothing since. So hopefully nobody goes in there and buys that bike off the floor, because I'm hoping that's the one I get. But yeah, man. Hey, but I already hit up M7, told him to build the graphic kit. So the graphic kit should be here probably next week. Hopefully by the time I get back from California, should have the graphic kit here. Hopefully they hit me up this week. If they hit me up this week, I'm not leaving until Thursday. So I'm here for another 2 days. So if they hit me up, I'll go grab that bike before I leave. If not, hopefully right when I get back, I'll go down there and swoop it up. And then we'll get the graphics on and get it all ready for when that warm weather comes. We're going to start ripping out here. Well, let's see. Any other questions? Did I miss anybody's questions? Did I get everybody? But anyways, well, sweet, man. I did kind of get through. All right, here's to get Chris here. So, are you gonna do a live chat with Twitch while you're out there? I am staying with Twitch. I'm staying with Twitch. I get there on Thursday. So by the time I land, get there Thursday afternoon, land, grab my rental. I might try to pick up my bike Thursday from Husky, just so I have it. And then, so then I have class is Saturday. So I really only have Friday and then Sunday, because I leave Monday. So I only really have 2 days. So I got to kind of see what Twitch has going on. So it's really not my call, just because I don't know how busy he's going to be. I know he works at DBK. According to him, like 10 to 12 hour days. He said he's there all day. Because they're super busy right now with the company. So I definitely feel it out. I talked to Taka today. Taka is not feeling good, so kind of bummed. He might be sick while I'm there. And then Wanky is going to be in town as well. So I'll hang out with Wanky. So we'll see. Maybe we can sneak somebody in there and try to get on, try to see. I don't know. Definitely open to it. But it will be good. I'm definitely looking forward to the trip, though. All right, let's see Patrick here. He says, the fender on the Husky is flat, like 1990s bike. Put a white KTM fender on a high stage. So basically, I know what you're saying. So the KTM fender has way more shape to it. So, hey, I don't think that would look bad. You know, white fender with a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, because the Husky fender is definitely just more rounded, old school. So I don't think that look bad at all, dude. I think it might look good. Mix it up, you know. All right, here's a good one. And got John here. He said, what's your... Oh. He says, what's your opinion? Is it too late to start FMX at 30 years old? I mean, definitely probably really hard to like compete on a super top level at 30. But I think you're never really too old to just go have fun, learn tricks. Like you get a cool little ramp set up and you want to learn how to do some of the basic stuff just to have fun and just progress at your own level. Like I think that ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, you start with the basics. Go learn how to do a no-footer, then learn how to do a heel clicker, then learn how to do a can, then learn how to do a double can, learn a neck, learn a double neck, learn a single seat grab, learn a double grab. Like, you just advance. Start with the basics. Boom. Get used to doing that, then no-footer, back to the face. No-footer, back to the face. Then up. Do a no-footer, like high no-footer, where your feet are under your arm. And this same thing. And then bust a neck. Bust the neck. Once you get feeling good, bust the neck, kick the other foot off, double neck. Nobody just comes out and jumps, grabs a seat, and does a full seat grab. It just don't work like that. You get used to grabbing, like jump to jump, grab. Jump to jump, grab. Get used to where you can go from the grab hole to the handlebar. Grab hole, handlebar. Grab hole, handlebar. Once that's easy, grab, do a little no-footer. Grab, do a little no-footer. And then once you start to be able to get your feet off to where, and then you start balling. Because you don't want to kick your feet out, but it's still a good step. Grab, no footer. So where you're starting to let the butt float. But eventually, you just want to start balling up and letting your ball up. Once you let your hips rotate up, then kick. You want to kick late. I've always watched guys trying to learn seat grabs. Well, I just remember when I was trying to learn them. But even now, just watching people go through the steps of learning them, a lot of times they kick too soon. They grab the seat, try to jump, but then they kick too soon. You build a little bit more confidence each day. Like you'll go, boom, make a little, and you get someone to film it so you can watch it progressing, because you'll start down here, your feet will be like by the number plates, then they'll be by the seat, then they'll be a little above the seat, then they'll be here, and then eventually you can do them full heart attack style, straight up and down. But it takes time to get there. Like I said, no one went out and did a heart attack on their first seat grab. Like just look at the pictures. Remember when Hart first started doing seat grabs? He was the first guy that started doing those. But he was straight off the back of the bike. You know, he wasn't doing them like this. He was doing them like this. Man, that was cool. Just comfortable jumping the ramp all the time. Now, think about how fast I got to go. That needs to be muscle memory. You need to jump the ramp so many times that you're not thinking about like, oh, am I cruising fast enough in second? Okay, gas it here. Okay, perfect. That's where I need to be. Nah. That needs to be back. That needs muscle memory. You do that without even thinking, because now you need to put your focus on what your body's doing. So you need to forget, like, that's second nature, is your running speed. So maybe that's the first place you need to start. Just get comfortable jumping the ramp perfect every lap. You know, jump perfect, tagging the sweet spot over and over till that's easy. Then once you get on that, now start thinking about moving your body somewhere, whether it's a hand placement somewhere, it's a, you know, trying a can for the first time, or whatever trick you decide to start with. Like I said, I would start with easy stuff. That's what, if I was going to go out and teach freestyle, I would make sure every one of my students can safely do no handers and no footers, and I would start them right there. They can get back to the pegs and get back to the hands, and I'd take them to the next one. And start at the bottom. That's where all of us learned. All of us started with no handers and no footers and heel clickers, single neck, single cans, single seat grab. Every single freestyle dude started there, and they worked their way up. So if I was gonna go out and coach people I would coach them right through that same. I wouldn't just start them off on kiss of death, you know. I would get them comfortable doing some easy stuff and build some confidence. But you want to be on your bike as much as you can. If you're serious about it, every day is the best way to do it. If you do them every single day, they become second nature. It becomes muscle memory. Like once you learn the trick, you don't necessarily have to go like, all right, grab, ball up, kick, grab, ball up, kick, like that. You've already did that so many times. You just say, you turn the corner and you look at the ramp and you call the trick. Your seat grab. I'm doing a seat grab, and you go up, boom, and you just hit it. Turn around, come back, double can, boom, and you hit it. But when you're learning them, you'll have all those little things that you'll tell yourself what to do. Like, okay, I'm going to jump. I'm going to pivot my hips. Once my foot clears a seat, I'm going to look and kick. Easy. You can pop them off all day long, any time of the day. But then you have a little break, whether it's a crash or whatever, then you start feeling rusty and start feeling off. So freestyle is a sport where seat time, I mean, everything, I mean, all sports, it's like anything. You want to be good at it, dude? To get good at anything is to do it. But getting a filmer out there, watching your progression will help. Watch the video and be like, oh, my feet are way down by my number plates. They're not even above my seat. And then you can make a little bit of adjustment the next day you go out to try to get your feet up. And then when you start seeing yourself actually start, video is one of the best tools that we can use to study ourselves and to make ourselves not take advantage of video. Everyone has it on their phone. It's so easy these days. Just have your friend grab his iPhone and say, hey, film me hit this ramp a couple times. I want to see what my seat grab looks like. Link get clean. How did Link get clean? Man, I haven't seen Link in a while. I'm not sure. I don't really know. I mean, I feel like he probably never heard of him having to go to rehab or anything. So I think he just made a smart choice, make some better decisions. Brian here says, do you use a special cleaner on your white boots? I use Simple Green on my white boots and a brush. Spraying down with Simple Green, I give them a scrub, and then I power wash them off. That's the key. Like I don't wash my bike with a hose. I wash my bike with a power washer, and I wash my boots with a power washer. So I think the power washer makes a huge difference in getting your bike really clean versus a hose. I don't think a hose has enough power to blow that stuff off. But same thing on your boots. You get some Simple Green. Yeah, Chris Ackerman, RIP Loss, RIP Ackerman. So Chris Ackerman was a good friend of all of ours. I'm sure everybody's seen a lot of guys posting, but Chris, he actually, as far as I know, Chris was the first Metal Militia employee ever. So way back when the Metal Militia was first started, there was Deegan actually shared a warehouse with Skin. Remember Skin made the graphics? Well, Militia shared a space with Skin, and Chris was the warehouse guy. And unfortunately, Chris had a bad crash out at Glamis. I think Twitch and Deegan might have been there when he crashed there for a second. But I was saying Chris in his early years was still able to get out. He'd come out in a wheelchair. He never missed an event. He would come out to X Games every year, to the Dew Tour, to the Warp Tour. He was at all the events for the first couple years after his crash. But over time, it got harder for him. So for a long time, he didn't get to leave his room. He was stuck in a bed to go, and I did get to talk to him about September. I was looking back, and the last time we were texting and talking, he was he was ready. I've read the text just recently after I heard of what he was definitely ready to meet Jesus. So there's a lot of militia dudes up there, so it's all good. And, I'm sad for his family and the friends that are closest to him, because no one likes losing friends and family, and it's always backwards. I think when parents hard for parents, that always helps me. And I know Lust. I don't know if you guys remember Mark the Bear Smith. He had passed away as well. Ox. Ackerman. There's a whole lot of militia dudes. I'm glad Chris, to be honest with you, as sad as I know it is for the family, there's a part of me that has complete peace, and there's a part of me that goes, you know what? I'm happy that he's out of his bed, because I know he feels a lot. I had talks with him, and I know it was very tough. Can you imagine? That's a tough situation. So we will all. Hey, thanks for Big Feist. Big Feist was out hunting. He didn't get nothing. We forgot to talk about it. Big Feist was out hunting, didn't get nothing. Dogs chased off the deer, so he was fired up. But hey, thanks again for hanging out here on Moto Monday nights. Hey, keep the Ackerman family in your prayers. The memorial is going to be in March. I'll be out there for that. Someone broke their spine here. But hey, prayers for everybody. Lift each other up in prayer. So. Thanks again for hanging out here on Moto Mondays. We'll be back. Hey, I'm not sure about next week. I'll keep you posted on next week, because I know I am traveling. But I'll be out in California, so I'll see some of you boys real soon out in Cali. And thanks again, man. Love you. If you need any info on anything, be sure to go to RonnieFaisstMX.com. And we'll see you next week. Much love. And peace out. I can't get kicked off here.